If you see little glitter pieces on my face, like you become one with the glitter for forever. Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a video for y'all all about this palette right here. This is the Warror 2 by Juvia's. So this is what it looks like. So we're gonna chat about all things related to this palette, like pricing, packaging. We'll look at some swatches. I'll talk to you guys about the formula of these shadows and how they are to work with, and then give you my overall thoughts and impressions on this palette, as well as show you a tutorial on how I did this look right here. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the price of this palette is $20. This is what the outside sleeve looks like. Very pretty. The graphics are always so beautiful from Juvia's Place. It says, inspired by the ferocious and decapitating beauty of the Dahomey Amazons of Africa, who defied societal norms to protect their people. A true embodiment of strength, fierceness, and beauty. So that is the theme of this palette. Here is the actual palette. Nice and thin packaging, so not bulky, doesn't take up a lot of space. Has the pretty coloring on the top, the beautiful graphic there. This is what it looks like on the back. So nice sturdy cardboard. I like the packaging on it. There is no mirror, so just know that about it. It just has the pretty graphic up at the top. As far as color scheme to this palette, this is kind of very different for Juvia's Place, in my opinion, because it's kind of more neutral, but a little bit grungy, edgy, different neutral. So I really kind of like it. Like at first when I saw the color scheme of this palette, I was like, oh, I wasn't really sure about it, but I got it because I collect Juvia's Place palettes, so I went ahead and ordered it. But I have really started to enjoy this a lot. I think I would like it even more if there were more like true reds in here. Maybe one more shade thrown in here that was just a bright true red. I think that would be really, really cool. I think it would have kicked it up even more, because these are kind of more peachy orangey. This one's kind of a deep burgundy with a warm tone to it, but I would have loved a red in here. But overall, I think it's just kind of something different. I really do enjoy it. I mean, if you take this row out right in here, it's very neutral. Like if you remove this row, these are super neutral and these are super neutral. So you can definitely have a super, super neutral look with this palette, or you can bring in the orangey shades and really kind of do something sort of grungy and different like I did today. So that's what you get in here. Now for some swatches, starting on the top left side of the palette, this is Yodit, Kufuru, Walzana, Dara, Zama, Jamata. Bottom row, this is Shawata, Kana, and Zaz. Very pretty. Chatting about the formula on these shadows, I would describe these as silky mattes. They are not overly soft, so they don't kick up a lot of product in the pan. Very little fallout on the face, if any. So they're really, really easy to work with in that regard. If you get frustrated with soft shadows that have a lot of fallout on the face and kick up in the pan, I think you would really, really like this formula. This is the type of formula though that you do have to kind of build it up because it is that silky sort of a texture. I find that not always, but sometimes it's like, it's either a super soft shadow that's pigmented right off the bat, but you have to be delicate with it. It can overtake your eye look. Sort of that kind of scenario. And then there's this sort of scenario where it's that silky sort of texture that you don't have to be as delicate with, but you do have to build it up a little bit. Personally, I like both formulas. I've mentioned before, I just like makeup. I like playing with makeup, so I don't mind changing up my application technique based on different formula types. So I enjoy both formulas. This is just that silky sort of a textured formula where you don't have to be as delicate with it, but you do have to build it a little bit, but it builds on itself really nicely, ends up being very nicely pigmented. Just really pretty shadows, easy to work with, easy to blend together, and get kind of cohesive eye looks. I think it's a really nice, silky, textured matte formula. So overall thoughts on this palette, you know, I do really kind of like it. It's not one of my favorites from Juvia's Place. I wouldn't even put it in my top few favorites, but I do like it more than I thought I would. And I think because it's a grungy, edgy, different sort of a palette, I really do feel like it's something a little bit edgy. So I do like it for that reason. I would have liked it even more, like I mentioned before, if they would have put in a red in here, if there were some shimmery metallic shades in here, just because I love Juvia's Place metallic shadows. They are super pigmented and just really beautiful. So I would have liked it even more if those things were kind of added to this palette. But I do think it's just something a little bit funky and edgy. So that's why I do like it. I think this would be for people who like these sort of colors, like a silkier sort of texture, not a soft sort of a matte formula. And if you like sort of, I don't know, something a little bit different, like neutral, but a little bit different, because I do feel like that's what this palette is. Okay, so I've already applied some eyeshadow primer and set that. So I'm gonna get some of Kana on a Cozette S175 brush and apply this into my crease and transition area. If you see little glitter pieces on my face, it's because I wore glitter yesterday, and you know how that goes. It's like you become one with the glitter for forever. And that's going on today. It's still there. I'm gonna get some of Dara on a Chique eyeshadow brush. Get that there. Tap off my brush a little bit. You really don't even need to tap off your brush, but I'm just doing it out of habit. And I'm just gonna build this up all over my lid. Mostly concentrating this on the inner 3/4 of my eyelid, but then I'm also kind of blending lightly outward as well. I'm gonna take a small crease brush and get some of Jamata and apply some of that into my outer corner. I'm gonna take a little combination of Kana and a little dot of Yodit, but mostly Kana, and just gonna apply a little bit more of this into my crease just to kind of blend all that a little bit. I'm gonna take that same small crease brush and get some of Walzana, and just dab a little bit of this in my outer corner. Now I'm gonna take some of MAC's Smolder Eye Kohl and kind of smudge that along my upper lash line, and then go over that liner with some of Shawata. Okay, and then to kind of diffuse that line a little bit, I'm gonna get some of Walzana on that same brush. I'm just using a Sigma eyeliner, what is it? E05 brush. So just gonna go kind of along the outsides of that line and just kind of soften it and diffuse that liner even more. Here's an example of fixing an issue. It got way too crazy on this side, so I'm just taking a makeup wipe and just kind of wiping off some of it, and then I'll go back in with that blending shade that I started with and just kind of soften out there to kind of hide that I did a little repair. Now I'm going to apply some IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara to my upper lashes, and I'll be right back. Went ahead and applied some concealer and powder. So for my lower lash line, I'm going to get some of Kana on a BH Cosmetics number 10 brush. I'm just going to line this along my lower lash line, building this color up. That glitter's just hanging out on my lower lash line. I have used makeup remover wipes, all kinds of stuff. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to get some of Zama on that same brush and apply this kind of the outer 2/3 of my lower lash line. And I'm going to take just a little bit of that dark gray color and just dab the tiniest little bit of this on my outer corner of my lower lash line, just to kind of smoke that out. Now I'm just going to apply some CoverGirl Clump Crusher to my lower lashes and also finish up the rest of my makeup. Alright guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful for you. Please hit a thumbs up if it was. Let me know down below what you think about this palette, if you own it or if you've just looked up pictures online. What are your thoughts on it? Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!